Good evening and Merry Christmas. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Johanna Chan. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Hong Kong records 25 imported COVID infections, the highest daily number in 8 months. City University in Kowloon Tong is removing a June 4th artwork. And Hong Kong church leaders spread the message of Christmas. Hong Kong has registered 25 COVID infections, the largest number since April. All the cases were imported, and the patients included 5 members of the Hong Kong karate team who returned from the Asian Championships in Kazakhstan. 2 of them had been in Hong Kong during the incubation period. Their close contacts were quarantined. Health authorities also confirmed 3 more Omicron cases, taking the city's tally to 44. One is an airport cleaner who was declared positive yesterday. Meanwhile, the government is barring Cathay Pacific flights from London, Korean Air from Seoul, and Emirates from Dubai and Bangkok for 2 weeks. The Omicron COVID variant has dampened Christmas celebrations in many parts of the world. Millions of people were hit by travel disruptions, and tight restrictions have limited gatherings. Sarah Wong reports.
For the second year in a row, Christmas is being celebrated on a somber note as the battle against the COVID pandemic continues. Christmas Eve in Barcelona was quiet as tightened curbs, including a newly imposed curfew, dampened festivities. Colorful lights shone on empty streets, with all nightclubs ordered closed to slow the spread of the Omicron variant. But this man still managed to be jolly. The highly contagious strain also created travel chaos and disrupted holiday plans as major airlines grounded staff. Globally, more than 4,500 flights were cancelled, over 1,000 of which were U.S. domestic and international flights, and hundreds more delayed. United and Delta Airlines together scrapped nearly 500 flights on Christmas Eve, stranding passengers eager to fly home to be with their families. Omicron didn't stop hundreds of Christians from attending midnight mass in the southern Indian city of Hyderabad, but some of them were worried.
Before we used to celebrate, we used to dance in front of the church, like many other people, any other committee people also used to join with us. Now we are very scared about this Omicron. Again, we are maintaining our distance.
But at the end of the day, fears were trumped by faith, with worshippers immersed in the essence of Christmas as they awaited the new year with optimism. Sarah Wong, HKIBC.
Neighboring Shenzhen has added 3 Omicron infections, all imported from the United States. The variant was detected in 3 of the 5 people diagnosed with COVID after they flew in from Los Angeles on Wednesday. This raised China's Omicron tally to at least 7. The highly contagious strain is testing China's zero-COVID strategy and Hong Kong's efforts to resume quarantine-free cross-border travel. Meanwhile, the Delta outbreak in locked-down Xi'an has worsened, with 75 new local cases, the highest daily uptake this year. Locally, another university is set to remove a monument commemorating June 4th. 3 others have done so already. Isaac Lee reports.
City University's student union was informed yesterday that the Goddess of Democracy statue has to be removed for national security reasons and the institution's interests. The union pleaded for more time. Its acting president Mark Tse told iCable News that it will obey city use instructions, but it has yet to decide what to do with the statue when it leaves the campus. One proposal is to give it to other organizations. Responding to media inquiries, City University said it reviews the rules and procedures for posters and displays on campus from time to time. The sculpture was donated by the now-defunct Hong Kong Alliance in 2012 to commemorate the Tiananmen Square crackdown. This week, 3 other local universities dismantled monuments marking June 4th. The University of Hong Kong dismantled and removed the Pillar of Shame sculpture in an operation that took place in the early hours of Thursday. Yesterday, the Chinese university took away a Goddess of Democracy statue, while Lingnan University tore down a war relief. Exactly, HKIBC.
Police have arrested 4 men on suspicion of trafficking ketamine worth $840 million. Officers seized 48 bags of the drug, weighing almost 1,300 kilograms in their biggest ever haul. Acting on a tip-off, the Narcotics Bureau, along with the Special Duties Unit and Marine Police, stood watch at Lei Yu Mun. A speedboat put up at the pier, and bags were handed to people on shore. When the officers moved in, those on board threw the remaining bags into the sea and sped off. 2 of the men who were arrested will appear in court tomorrow on drug trafficking charges. Police said the gang had planned carefully.
The syndicate members are mostly very familiar with the operation of the sea transports in Hong Kong, and they had used a number of members to act as lookout and in order to ensure a smooth handover of drugs with the members on the land. And regarding the members on the land, police found that they had used rental vehicles for their drug plot to minimize the risk of being arrested.
Chief Executive Carrie Lam has demanded follow-up action on the 18 cases of child abuse at a Prince Edward foster home. Posting on her Facebook page, Lam expressed outrage and shock at the abuse, which was disclosed yesterday, Christmas Eve. Welfare Chief Law Chi Kwong has been tasked with urging the Social Welfare Department to investigate whether the management of the foster home was negligent. Lam added the government will table suggestions to combat child abuse to the new Legislative Council as soon as possible. Church leaders in Hong Kong have urged their congregations to mark Christmas by sharing and looking after the needy. The call came in services held last night and this morning. In a Christmas Eve Mass at the Catholic Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception, Bishop Stephen Chow called for more communication between generations. He urged older people to listen to the problems of the younger generation to create a better understanding between them. The theme was followed up at a Christmas Day Mass this morning. Parish priest Dominic Chan urged people to help those in need, especially those suffering from depression, discrimination, and poverty. At St. John's Cathedral last night, Anglican Bishop Matthias Durr called on Hong Kongers to spend time together this Christmas to make up for the problems caused by COVID.
I think this pandemic has taught us the importance of appreciating and enjoying each other's presence. And to be able to share time and space with one another is a real gift.
At this morning's service, the Dean of St. John's, Chan Kwok Keung, stressed the spirit of Christmas.
We are all called to share the love to those whom we know and whom we care. We may give out our Christmas presents to them, send out Christmas cards, or now, with technology's help, sending out WhatsApp greetings, make a phone call to those who cannot come back to Hong Kong, and give a big hug to your beloved ones. It will make this Christmas different because of your small actions.
Chan urged the congregation to extend the joy of sharing to everyone. Pope Francis celebrated Christmas Eve Mass at the Vatican with a call for humility. The Roman Catholic leader, who was massless during the service, reminded the 2,000 worshippers in St. Peter's Basilica that Jesus was born poor. He urged people around the world to help the most needy among them. Francis said serving others is more important than seeking personal gain or honors. Back in Hong Kong, police are searching for a woman who was captured on video snatching a cat from a seafood store in Sham Shui Po. Officers talked to passers-by after the shop owner reported the theft. He called police at around noon when he found the animal missing from his store on Yu Chao Street. Officers reviewed CCTV footage from nearby shops and spotted a woman in her 50s carrying the cat. 9 days ago, a 49-year-old woman was jailed for a month and a half for stealing a cat, also in Sham Shui Po. In other local news, A computer glitch delays visits at a detention center, and a lorry carrying chilled chicken catches fire. Isaac Lee reports.
A computer crash meant that Christmas Day visits at the Lai Chi Kok Detention Center were held up for 3 hours this morning. Around 100 people had to wait outside until the Correctional Services Department repaired the glitch. The problem was fixed at around 1 p.m., enabling the visits to go ahead. A lorry carrying chilled chicken caught fire as it was passing through the island eastern corridor. Firefighters put out the blaze, which broke out when a rear wheel suddenly burst into flames near Sai Wan Ho. The driver lost control and crashed into a barrier, but was not injured. Police intercepted a car which they believed was acting suspiciously and arrested 4 people after reportedly finding some drugs. Officers followed the vehicle from Tsim Sha Tsui and stopped it on the East Kowloon corridor. 3 men and 1 woman were taken for questioning. In Sham Shui Po, a bar manager was arrested for violating anti-COVID measures. Penalty tickets were issued to 10 customers in the basement bar on Tai Nam Street for not using the Leave Home Safe app. The manager was arrested for not checking whether customers had used the app to enter. Isaac Lee, HKIBC.
There's now a new way for Hong Kongers to enjoy a holiday. Instead of being caught up in the crush in shopping malls, they can take to the water at the renovated Wan Chai Harbor. Isaac Lee tells us more.
Another family-friendly attraction has opened on Hong Kong Island. Visitors can now walk along the fence-free harbour steps, which stretches from Shek Tong Zhui to Fortress Hill. Not only that, they can also ride pedal boats at the Wan Chai harbour fronts. Each boat can accommodate either 2 or 4 people. It costs less than $300 to hire a boat for 45 minutes. But this family returns early. My son became seasick, this woman explained. She added that paddling the boat is quite tiring, but her family enjoyed it. Players have to book a session in advance, but all slots have been reserved until January the 3rd. This man said he logged in as soon as the system opened and was lucky to be successful despite the huge demand on Christmas Day. Some turns up in outfits that matched the occasion. This girl said she wanted to immerse herself in the festive atmosphere. She added that the journey was fun and the design of the boat was beautiful. Isaac Lee, HKIBC.
On to the weather now. Brace yourself for a cold Boxing Day with a temperature of 12 to 17 degrees. The mercury will dip further tonight on Monday before rising slightly on Tuesday. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for this Christmas Day. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Johanna Chan. Thanks for watching. Good night.